Hello and welcome back to Universal Studios Great Britain Updates, the channel where we track every slip road, soil sample and suspiciously large diggers that appear in Bedford. Today, we're going to take a look at something that will set Universal Studios UK apart from basically every other theme park and amusement park in the UK. It's also something that will contribute massively towards Universal's lofty ambitions of attracting 8.5 million visitors a year. And that is, Universal Studios UK is going to be the easiest theme park in the entire United Kingdom to get to. Yes, really. Easier than Blackpool Pleasure Beach, easier than Thorpe Park, easier than Chessington, Legoland, Flamingoland, and way easier than Alton Towers, which, let's be honest, is a bit of a pain in the arse to get to, especially if you don't drive. Whose idea was it to build the UK's biggest theme park in the middle of nowhere anyway? Okay, I digress. The thing is, Universal isn't just building a theme park. They're building an entire resort with a city walk area that needs to be accessible so guests can just pop in and out as they please. So it's important that it has transport links that actually make sense. A British first. There are more than 22 million people within 100 kilometres of the resort, which is a huge opportunity to get those numbers in through the doors. So, today, we're going to break down all the ways you'll be able to get to Universal Studios UK, whether you're driving, taking the train, or flying in from abroad. Somehow, against all odds, Bedford is about to become the most accidentally convenient place to get to in the country. Let's dive in. Right, so first, the roads. The Universal Studios UK site sits right next to the A421, which for years has been the red-headed stepchild of the dual carriageway world. It leads from the M1 to the Black Cat roundabout, which means either end can become really congested, especially at rush hour. And not to mention it has a tendency to literally turn into a lake whenever it feels like it. Thankfully, there are processes in place to change that. The Black Cat roundabout, which is guaranteed to feature on those morning traffic updates on the radio, is undergoing a massive transformation. We're talking full reconstruction, new flyovers, streamlined traffic flow. Basically, the road equivalent of a makeover montage from one of those 90s movies. It's much needed and will hopefully mean those driving from Cambridge won't have too many road-related headaches. Speaking of Cambridge, there are also huge upgrades along the route to the city itself, which will make things far easier, possibly even easier than driving from the M1. And yes, let's talk about the M1, the road that connects the north to the south. And vice versa, obviously. The M1 is only a few miles down the A421 from the Universal site, opening up access to basically most of the UK. However, Junction 13 of the M1 is an absolute mess. I mean, look at it. Does this make sense to you? Every time I drive on this road, I see people in the wrong lane, hear cars honking, get stuck in traffic. Now imagine that, but with thousands more cars in a morning, most of which will be drivers who are coming from out of town. Junction 13 right now is not fit for purpose. Allegedly, there are plans to upgrade it in the works. We'll just have to wait and see on that one. But it does at least allow you to get from the M1 to the A421, which is the main thing, albeit a little chaotically. Universal has asked the government for a shiny new slip road from the A421 to the resort, and this is a must, as the two junctions in between the Universal land just wouldn't be able to handle that much additional traffic. Thankfully, work has already started on prepping the land, so within the next few years, things should look very different around here. And finally, a brand new dual carriageway is planned to be built where Manor Road currently is, which is why Universal have been buying out the homes along the route. Some have already been purchased and only a handful are still occupied. And once constructed, it will make things way easier for shuttles and buses to reach the resort, especially from the new Wixham's train station. Speaking of which, let's move on to the option which seems to be the most exciting, especially when it comes to international visitors and those coming up from London. Trains. Because Universal UK isn't being built near a train station. No. It's being built near 2 train stations. It's basically doubling your options. First, we'll start with Wixham Station. Wixham Station has been coming soon for longer than most Netflix shows even last, but construction has at least started, albeit paused during this Universal Studios consultation period, but it is due to restart fairly soon. Because Universal is one of the reasons why. When it opens, Wixham's will have direct trains from London, connecting straight to the resort area. London to Universal? No problem, you'll be there in about 40 minutes. Done. And the icing on the cake is that Universal will run regular shuttles between the station and the transport hub, a journey which should only take a few minutes. But the really big one is Universal's own station. Yeah, their own station. The plan is to build a new station directly on the East-West line on the land that Universal owns. Because the existing Stuartby and Kempston Hardwick stations between Oxford and Cambridge will be consolidated into a new, modern and purpose-built station perfectly in between the two, which does so happen to be right in the middle of the Universal Studios land. It's going to be incredibly convenient, and it's not a coincidence. Universal has been working very closely with these organisations to make sure it'll be as easy as possible for guests to get to the resort, and ultimately give them their money. The new East-West Rail station will sit within the transport hub, meaning trains from Oxford, Bicester, Milton Keynes, Bedford and Cambridge, and even beyond potentially, will all stop right outside the front door. That means both UK and international visitors who don't drive or don't want to drive will be able to get to the resort easily. Now, let's talk about flying. With Luton Airport about 17 miles from the resort, it'll be easy peasy for international visitors, especially those in Europe, to get to Universal Studios UK. And this reach will only widen as the airport expands to double the amount of passengers within the next 20 years. And on top of this, there are plenty more airports not all that far away, including Stansted, Cambridge and more. So by choosing the location that they have, Universal have made it simple for guests to not only get to the resort from around the UK, but also Europe and beyond. So to wrap things up, Universal Studios UK is positioning itself to be the single most accessible theme park in the UK. And honestly, maybe even Europe. By road, you've got the A421, the M1, upgraded roundabouts, new slip roads, direct access routes. By rail, you've got the trains, Oxford to Cambridge service and Universal's own station in the middle of it. By air, you've got Luton Airport practically next door with future-proof transport routes leading directly to the park. It's almost like Universal looked at every single complaint we've got about other British theme parks and said, we'll sort that out, lads. So yes, when Universal Studios UK opens, getting there will be the least stressful part of your day. And hopefully, within the next couple of weeks, we'll hear a lot more about whether or not the resort is actually going to go ahead. Which, let's be honest, after all the activity, it's probably likely to. So if you've enjoyed this breakdown, if you'd like to hear more as and when they drop, and hopefully that SDO confirmation any time now, please hit that subscribe button, do all the bell ringing nonsense that accompanies these YouTube videos and all that malarkey, and I shall see you in the next video.